What's up, guys? It's Alex. I know this is a very long overdue video. About 3 months longer than I wanted to take to post it, but here we are. You guys have been blowing me up on Instagram and TikTok asking me where's the update. I've been super busy. Obviously, this isn't the usual garage you guys are used to seeing the car in. This is my new shop. I've been super busy moving in here, getting set up, obviously with the business side of things too. I've just been swamped. It's the end of the year here in Michigan, just starting to get cold, so I've been super busy working. Car's just kind of been on the back burner the last 2 months. As a lot of you guys know and been seeing some of my updates here and there, the car's been misfiring since the day we put the base map on. Done some diagnosing. We'll get into what we've done so far. Haven't really gotten too far, to be honest with you guys, but we're slowly getting somewhere. There's going to be some changes that are going to be made to the setup this winter. Like I said, it's freezing here in Michigan, so car's not going anywhere, especially with the Falcon in the rear. We're not driving the car. Speaking of, I do have a new set of rims about to be ordered. I'm still picking the color and finish on them, but we are going to be having some new rims on the 2 Series next year, which I'm super pumped about. We'll get into what's going on with the car in a second. As you guys can see too, in our spare time, we've been doing some flecked colored PPF. It's turning out sick. I've been getting a lot of questions why we're doing white on white. It's to cover the rock chips so I don't have to repaint and then wait to wrap it in normal satin PPF. So that's why we're doing colored PPF, and it's dry apply too, so super easy to work with. But yeah, let's get into what's going on with the car. So I'm just realizing that this is actually the first time you guys are seeing the engine bay in its completed form here on YouTube. I really wanted to make this video with the car making some boost. Like I said, the car's been misfiring, so haven't been able to do so. We're still on wastegate pressure, making like 8 or 9 pounds until we misfire. We'll get into that in a second, but we'll start with what's most apparent and what I've been getting the most questions about is the Sencal intake. It is actually not hooked up to our turbo. We've got too many AN lines running in the way of the inlet, so we had to cut the inlet short and just leave it in there, obviously partially for looks, but it is still feeding the turbo some air, which is helping. The MAF obviously is disabled. Before I get a bunch of questions, this isn't how we're venting it, so don't worry. We were just doing a couple tests on it. But on this side of things is where the madness is. Obviously, you guys know we're running the Hypergate 45 Gen 5 down there. Cast manifold, Speedtech cast manifold attached to our S363 turbo. But a lot of you guys were giving me a lot of questions about the water to oil cooler delete and what that entailed. Honestly, not a ton of rerouting. As long as you're labeling your coolant lines and what came from where and what came from the radiator and what came from the block, you'll have no problem. You will need extra lines. You will need to buy extra coolant lines. You will need to make stuff work, as you can see. So other than that, nothing too crazy going on. We were still able to keep the coolant reservoir on the passenger side and didn't have to relocate it. So that was a huge plus to keeping it kind of OEM-ish looking. And obviously, you can't tell that this thing's got a turbo capable of almost 850, 900 wheel. So it's definitely a sleeper engine bay, but there are going to be some changes that are going to be made pretty soon here. I am looking into possibly switching tuners. I'll be straight up with you guys. I haven't had the greatest experience with Wedge. Some of you guys know I used to be tuned with David Shoup. I'm thinking about going back with him. We just had a conversation a few days ago. Looking into changing some things on the build and the setup here, possibly swapping out the port injection, maybe leaving the manifold, but at least pulling the rail off and plugging up the injectors and getting a Dorch lift kit and going back to completely DI setup, still keeping our Reflex Plus, throwing back our Eu5 M5 injectors. Let's actually get into that. So as a lot of you guys know, we were on the Dorch Eu5 M5 injectors. We had those thrown in with everything else, and part of our diagnosing was to pull those out and go back to the stock EU6 injectors. And unfortunately, that didn't do a damn thing. We also replaced and regapped the spark plugs twice so far, along with replacing the coil packs twice and going to elder B58 coils on the second time. Tuner recommended, that didn't do a damn thing. As I mentioned on TikTok, and a lot of you guys were waiting for the update, and unfortunately I didn't get to record it because I was doing it by myself, was the O2 sensors. That was kind of a last shot attempt of doing something by myself, hoping that that would resolve the issue, and unfortunately it did not. I think the issue is much greater and could be stemming from a few different things. The misfire doesn't consist of one cylinder. It's random, and it jumps from cylinder to cylinder, or cylinders to cylinders, I should say. It's 3 or 4 at a time, so it's not one cylinder misfiring. It's multiple at the same time, and it's different cylinders. So that's what kind of is, putting us back, is if it was just one cylinder misfiring, this would have been figured out a long time ago, but it unfortunately is not. As I mentioned, we're going to be trying out Dave Shoop again with this setup now. We were with him on the hybrid turbo setup. We're going to be going with him on the full frame again. And as you guys know, or if some of you guys may know, he's a big direct injection guy. Not a huge fan of port injection, just due to the whole closed loop system and correction chasing and AFR swings, which is kind of what we're experiencing too, at least at idle. So we're going to be giving that a go, probably pulling off the manifold. I was thinking about keeping it and just plugging the injectors, but the more I think about it, if we are going to be buying the Dorch lift kit, I'd rather just take the money that we get from the manifold and the injectors and not have to come out of pocket at all, other than an $800 tune, which isn't a big deal to get the car where it needs to be. So that's kind of where we're at as far as what's going to be going on and what's going to be changing in the next few weeks to a month. I'm just waiting to get back in the shop and kind of go from there. I'm also still selling my hybrid turbo and some of my other parts. If anybody's interested, please hit me up on Instagram. Instagram will be linked in the bio and the description. So if you're interested, shoot me a DM. We'll work something out, shipping, drop off, pickup, whatever the case is, we'll figure something out. I still got a ton of parts I need to get rid of for this thing. So if you're interested, hit me up. But that's where the car's at the moment. Oh, like I said, not really in a rush with this car. This thing's taken up 8 or 9 months of my time this year, and it's probably going to take up some more, but it's not going anywhere, so it's not a big deal to me. I've had it for almost 3 years, which is crazy to think about, but I got a lot of other priorities and things that I'm focused on that come way before the car and finishing it and getting it done, unfortunately. But I am looking at getting something else soon. It will be a big brother to the 2 Series, something in the G8X lineup. I don't know if I want another 2 Series, so it really comes down to an M3 or 4. I just don't know if I want 2 or 4 doors yet. But hopefully in the next couple months, we'll be able to come across the spec that we want. I'm very particular. It took me forever to find this car, white on red. And it's exactly how I wanted it, and that's exactly how I am going to be when it comes to whatever I get next. But what'll be nice is that I'll have 2 different cars, 1 dailyable car and 1 weekend single turbo car, 1 car on twins. So it'll be a really nice balance of content for you guys, and I'll be able to put out a lot more things when one of the cars is down like it's been. So with that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, comment. If you guys got any questions at all about the build, or you need help with your build, or you have questions about parts, hit me up on Instagram. I'm happy to help you guys. A lot of you have. Keep them coming. I'm happy to help you guys. If you guys are interested in any of the parts I have, I still have the hybrid turbo. I have a blown pure stage 2 that probably nobody's interested in, but intercooler, injectors, fuel pumps, etc., you name it, I've got it for this thing. All N55s it'll work for. Make sure you shop Island Racewerks, Austin Performance. Use code FAKEM at checkout, get a discount, save you some money. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.